Hi, I'm Jess Kelly, Newstalk's technology correspondent, and this is Tech Bytes, the show that looks to make your tech choices that bit easier. Today we're looking at a Samsung OLED TV. It has a very impressive tech spec sheet, but also a little bit of a hefty price tag. So we're going to answer that all-important question: is it worth the money? Now, I always like to start all of my reviews with a very basic question, and today we are going as basic as it comes. Are you ready? What is a TV? Back in the day, it was the only source of entertainment in the home. You'd watch whatever was on Channel 1 or Channel 2, and that was the height of it. Today, we are spoilt for choice. Very often, I'd watch entire movies on my smartphone because I couldn't be bothered to find the remote for the telly. I'm that lazy. We have oodles of devices, plenty of content to pick. And I don't know about you, but I would struggle to remember the last time I sat down to watch live TV. However, the one constant is that big black screen in the middle of your living room that dominates the household entertainment. Regardless of what you're watching, it is super important you have a beautiful screen to consume it on. There has been so much development over the last number of years in terms of technology in the world of TVs. And today we are looking at the king of the crop. All right, let's tour the device. So this is the Samsung OLED S95B. This is the 65-inch model. It does come in 55-inch. And the first thing to note about this TV when it arrives on your doorstep is it's bleeding massive. The box is huge. You will need a second person at least to help you get this into your house and set it up. The good news is that the actual setup is relatively pain-free. You open the box out, you take out the stand, and you'll need two people to help push the TV onto the stand. There's not a whole lot to it. You don't need that many tools or anything like that. You just follow the instructions and it will be done. The TV is very thin, and I would just be very, very cautious of leaving it lying around, particularly if you have animals, small children or careless housemates, because one little step on this could be devastating. So just be mindful of that. Once you have the TV onto the stand and you have it where it's going to live, you've got two options in terms of the setup. You can either do it via your mobile phone or you can do it with the remote control. Both options are present on the screen. You just follow the instructions, and within a matter of minutes, you are in, you can customize it and watch your content. So I opted to set up through the mobile phone and it was seamless. What happens is you select it with the remote control, a QR code appears, you scan that with your phone. It'll prompt you to download the Samsung SmartThings app if you don't already have it. I already did, so I logged into my account. It got the TV onto the Wi-Fi network. I was in, watching my content in less than 5 minutes. It was just a dream. So you have multiple ports around this TV, which is very handy to have because although a lot of the apps are built in, it is still nice to be able to plug in your Chromecast, your games console, your Sky Glass Puck, whatever it is that you have around. If you're going to have this TV on the stand, one thing to note is that there is a good bit of room between the stand and the telly if you want to put a soundbar in. So that is just something else to bear in mind. Now there are two remotes with this TV in the box, which I am not wild about. Because in my opinion it's just another thing to lose. So we have the traditional remote and we have the smart remote. So let's start with the traditional remote. So as you'll see here, it has everything you would expect of a TV remote control. There's also some app shortcuts for Netflix, for Prime Video and for Disney Plus. You also have your source button, which is super important if you are someone like me who has multiple things plugged into the back of their telly. Very useful. Then we move on to the smart remote. This is the one that I found myself using the most over the review period. It's very light, very neat. You'll notice on the back that there is solar charging, which is very, very handy. But if you're living in Ireland and the sun isn't shining, don't fret, you can charge by USB-C. It does have the app shortcuts like the main remote, so you've got Netflix, Disney and Prime. The one thing this doesn't have is a source button. Now, I may be the only person in the country that cares about this. It's a small thing. It's a total first world problem, but a first world problem is still a problem. So there you go, that's the remotes. Let's have a look at the TV itself. So we popped this TV into my living room and we watched my favorite movie of all time, which is The Dark Knight. And the second Heath Ledger's back appeared on the screen, we both went, oof. The colors looked incredible. The depth of the image looked stunning. I have watched this movie about 1,000 times easily, and this was the best viewing experience I've had. The scale of the screen, the depth of the colors, the reality, the sound system, everything about this viewing experience was just up there for me. And I want to note, I was coming from a good TV. We bought a good TV a few years ago, and I was sitting smugly thinking, you know, I've future-proofed myself by having this really good TV. I didn't want to love this TV. I didn't want to notice the difference. And it breaks my tiny little heart to say I noticed a difference. Every aspect of the viewing experience when it came to movies was enhanced by this TV. Okay, so if you've gone to buy a TV in the last number of years, you may have been met with a whole load of letters, like half the alphabet is there waiting for you. So you may have seen LED, LCD and OLED. So this TV that we're talking about today is an OLED, and that stands for Organic Light Emitting Diodes. You may be wondering what that means. I don't blame you. Essentially what it means is that this is a superior viewing experience because the panels emit its own light rather than needing backlighting. So when electricity goes through, everything just organically lights up and the image looks incredible. You'll often hear reviewers talk about, you know, blacks appearing blacker and whites appearing whiter. That is all because of the work that the OLED panel is doing, and it is stunning. So I've reviewed quite a number of TVs over the last number of years, and this, hands down, offers the best picture I have ever seen. There's infinite contrast levels, HDR content looks incredible, SDR content gets an absolute boost. If you're into your gaming, you will love this. There is zero lag, zero latency, everything looks class. It makes the basic gaming experience that bit more immersive. Forget your VR, you don't need a VR headset. You need a class TV, one of the Epic consoles, and you are laughing. All right, so you can probably tell from my tone and my giddy little Cabbage Patch face that I am loving this TV. It is incredible. The one area that it falls down in, I'm sad to say, is the user interface. And I don't know why I don't love it, because it's clear that they put a lot of time and a lot of effort into it. A lot of the key elements are there, but I found that I was clicking around a lot to try and find what I wanted when I wanted it. It didn't match the layout that I thought it should have. It didn't give me the options to customize in the way I'd like. And I just found it ever so clunky, to the point where I ended up plugging in a Chromecast and bypassing the UI as much as possible. And it's a shame because every other element of this TV is class. We spoke about the sneaky little cable management that makes it less clunky. We've spoken about the blacks looking black and the whites looking white. We've spoken about how great it is for gaming. It's a shame to see the UI being the only damn squib here. However, it is not a big enough of a drawback for this not to be on a contender list of your next TV. It is something that you will get used to for sure. Maybe updates will come over time that will enhance it, but it is the smallest little mark against this TV in a list of about 150 different things that I put through its paces. I guess it's just not as intuitive as I would like it to be. I think we've become, again, quite spoiled when it comes to Netflix and Disney and these other great user experiences, user interfaces that makes it so simple to find content. When you're scrolling through menus to look for whether it's gaming mode or ambient mode, and it feels like you're spending more time doing that than watching the content, it's not great. Not the end of the world, you will get used to it, but just bear in mind it's not as intuitive, I suppose, as you would like straight out of the box. All right, so here is my verdict. This TV is a winner. Doesn't matter what your interests are. If you are someone who wants to get the most out of their time on their sofa in front of the telly, this is the one. With the World Cup coming up soon, with oodles of gaming titles being launched just in time for Christmas, with epic stuff on Netflix, Disney, Coronation Street on pretty much every day of the week as well. This is the way to go. It creates such an immersive experience regardless of the content. Everything looks class. If you are a gamer, you will deeply appreciate how pacey this TV is, how great your titles look, Blacks look black, the whites look white, colours pop. You feel like you are there. If you've ever wondered what it's like being in the Rover's return, don't worry about flying over to Manchester and visiting the set. Get this telly, have it in your living room, and you will be laughing. The only points that it lost for me out of a scale of 1 to 100 was in relation to the UI. It lost maybe 5 points on that. It is not a make or break thing. It is just something to be mindful of as you set up this TV in your home. There is no denying at €3,000, this is an expensive investment in your home. But if you are a sporting household, a gaming household, movie household, kids TV, you've got to have Bluey in that 4K content, right? This is absolutely worth every single cent. This TV is a winner. So this is my favourite thing about being a tech journalist. Listen. Can we get it in one? Can we get it in one? I mean, there's literally nothing more satisfying in life. So good.